Okay, I mean, I am sitting here and I was looking out the window before. I was going to go out to try to pick up a couple of things just in case the weather that they predicted was going to be exactly what they said it was going to be. Unfortunately, I did what I have a habit of doing, and that is that I procrastinated, so I took way longer. I could have gone out this morning and done it. What time did I wait for? 3 something. What time did they predict the bad weather coming through? Between 3 and 6. I sometimes wonder at my infinite wisdom. It is what it is. I took a little bit of footage of the snow coming down because the thing that's astounding to me is the degree of accuracy with which they can predict weather now, as opposed to what it was many years ago. Let me take you back to when I was pregnant with David. I had gone to, and this is going to take you all back, those of you who are old enough to remember, I had gone to a plaid stamp redemption center. I wanted to pick something up. It was just one of those days, and I had the stamps, and I drove over there. There was not a flake of snow that hit the ground, nothing. So I felt perfectly safe doing it. I probably spent about an hour in the store looking through all this stuff. And by the time I got out of there and walked back to my car, there was a lot of snow on the ground. There really was. And the amount of snow on the ground was very scary because we all had rear-wheel drive cars back then, and it was slippery as hell. It really was. And I was pregnant, and I was scared to death. I had had 2 miscarriages before that. The 10-minute ride to go home was harrowing. And I just kept praying to God, please get me home. Please get me home safe. Keep this baby safe. So the reason I bring that up is because I turned the radio on in the car. And as I was listening to the radio, they kept talking about the weather. And they kept saying that there was a 10% chance of precipitation. And it was so frustrating to me as I was driving through this slippery sludge and praying to get home in one piece. And finally, after they said it for about the 6th or 7th time, I screamed into the dashboard, "Look out the window!" Which was more or less the way that weather reports kind of came about back in the day. They didn't have the satellites. There was nothing like that. The degree of accuracy was, you had a 50-50 shot of them being right at any given time. So that was really funny. So today, when they had predicted this, they said between 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. there was going to be this crazy squall kind of thing that was going to come through fast and furious. The snow was going to come down very, very heavily. It would last a half hour, 45 minutes, and it was going to be over. And all of that was great, but I looked out the window. When I looked out a little bit earlier, the sun was shining, and I thought, I've got plenty of time, which is how I live my life. So I finally got everything together, and by the way, I was so excited. I finally found a pair of boots. These were my Pajar boots, the ones that I have been talking about. Now, Pajar is a great company out of Canada. I adore them. I think they have the best boots. These are not the ones that they have that have those grids on them that you actually can have spikes come out if you need it, if you're on ice. But look at this. I mean, it's got a really substantial kind of a sole. So I thought, oh, this is fabulous. It's wonderfully quilted. Now, the interesting thing that I discovered when I bought Pajar boots a few years ago, and it's only 1 year when I bought a number of these, and most of them, as I recall, were made in Italy. This one was not. It was, and there were several styles that were not, and I don't remember where it was made exactly. I don't remember if it says on this, but the difference in sizing is astounding. So sadly for me, I went to put these on today. Now the other thing about the Pajar boots is that they are waterproof. So yes, it has a zipper that goes all the way down to make it easier, but it has a fabric in the grommet or inside the zipper, and it stays waterproof, which is really great. It's a very, very beautifully lined on the inside, no matter which boot you get. I mean, it's really super, super. So here I was all excited saying, okay, I'll be okay because I found a pair of boots. The problem was last year I put the boots away, but I put it somewhere and I can't go digging through things now because of my situation. So I said, I have the best boots in the world and I can't access them. So when I found these, I was thrilled to pieces. Problem is, it's very short in here, so it makes it really, really difficult for me to get my foot in it in any kind of, even the tiniest bit swollen. So my absolutely beautiful Pajar boot doesn't fit on my foot and I can't wear it. So now I have to see if I can, or pray that I can find one of the other pairs that was made in Italy that runs a little bit bigger. And otherwise I'm going to be trapped whenever there is any kind of precipitation or anything on the ground that is scary. Okay, I'm here to issue a correction. It is in fact this boot that was made in Italy, and the others were made somewhere else, and I cannot remember where for the life of me. I don't remember, but when I find out, I will mention it. But again, they were made just a little bit smaller. The toe box is a little bit shorter, and if I had known, I would have ordered the next size up, but it still might not have, you know, worked here. This is a very thick sole, so that could be the issue, but it's upsetting for me because I absolutely love these boots and I absolutely would love to wear them. These truly, the Pajar boots, every pair that I have bought is really waterproof. So when you have that disgusting snow or rain or whatever it is, they say it's up to the instep. Above that, it's not, but it also says that it wicks water out through micro ventilations or something, micro something or other. If I could see, it would be so nice. I used to be able to see. It says, these shoes are fitted with original Pajar protection linings. Rain and snow cannot get in because of the poromeric structure. Perspiration can escape through thousands of tiny micropores, so your feet will stay warm and dry no matter how cold and wet it is outside. Original Pajar protection, outstanding comfort for your feet. Just what you would expect from Pajar. It's waterproof up to the instep. So that is the story. I wanted to make sure I corrected it. I laughed because when I went to pick it up, I wanted to put it away. I saw that there was a little tag inside that said, made in Italy. So that was funny. That's it. When I went to open the door to take the pictures of the snow, I could not believe it because the wind was blowing, and the wind was blowing directly in my face. So it was blowing the snow in my face. It was crazy. While I did that, the dogs ran out, and of course, they ran in except for Milo, who obviously had to go. So he was circling around in the back of the yard. I was terrified a tree limb would fall and kill him. And, he stayed out there for a little while. So I opened the door several times, wanting to make sure that I got to him because I didn't want anything to happen to him. And when I went to shut the door at one point and I heard the slam, the wind actually blew the door back open and hit me in my elbow. Would you believe? I mean, how totally bizarre is that? I just realized I have the TV on in the background and you're seeing a little bit of a yeah, reflection of that in the picture glass. So that was a little bit distracting. In any case, I cannot believe they were accurate beyond belief. I pray that the cold weather, that whatever the snow, I just hope it doesn't turn into a sheet of ice. I have 12 steps in front of the house. If it turns into a sheet of ice, I can't leave my house because I could literally break my neck. There's nothing that's going to protect me from that if it's a sheet of ice. And they say that it's going to be cold for the next few days, icy cold, frigid temperatures. We're getting this crazy weather that I know they've had all over the country. They're talking about it, and things being closed and airports being closed and nobody able to get around in so many of the states around the country. And I'm looking out now. It was a beautiful day this morning, and now the sky is not only gray, it's actually pretty in terms of the gradation of color. And it just looks, it goes from light gray into like a medium smoky gray into a little bit darker gray. It would make for a beautiful background for something, but not the weather. Not the weather. It has by now either stopped snowing exactly as predicted, but the wind is still blowing. And as I say, whatever is there is there. I've got my fingers and toes crossed that I can get out of the house tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm supposed to have that appointment. I am really nervous, guys. So that is my story about the snow. I know somebody's going to ask, so I am wearing, this is Gabor Sweet Talk. It is in, I think it's 23101, but I will check. It is Sunkissed Beige, and this is not a rooted color because I thought at my advanced stage of wisdom, I did not necessarily need a root because it might not look genuine. So take a look. I went a little bit different with the eye makeup today. I decided to go with a darker smoky eye. I like it. It's fun. I think I'll do a demo on this for you because I know there are going to be some people who like it, want to see it. And it's nice. It kind of makes the eyes pop in a totally different way. And I've got a lot more to talk to you about. I really want to do a video strictly on some of my thoughts, some of my, I don't know if you want to call it wisdom because that depends upon how you perceive the information, but it's sort of things that I have extrapolated from all of the input that I get that plays into every day of my life and makes me feel or recognize things. For example, there was a day, and I've mentioned this once or twice before, there was a day many, many, many years ago when I was driving, I think I was volunteering at the time. I was driving down the street I was working in a hospital, and I stopped at a traffic light, and all of a sudden, I just had this epiphany that the world is not a finite place. The world is not necessarily what I'm seeing. That's going to sound weird. What I mean by that is the way we perceive the world is going to be different for each and every one of us, depending upon every single thing, every piece of data, every piece of emotional information that is input into our memory banks and I feel like it's part of our DNA, or certainly our emotional and psychic DNA, and that's the way we see the world is dependent upon all those little bits of information that make us perceive it one way or another. Just a tiny little bit of wisdom or not for today, but I do want to talk about some other things, just a chat, and I'm going to try to get this thing out for you and for my buddies who like to gather at night and chat. I hope to see you later. So take care. And for any of you in this deep freeze, please take care of yourselves. Be careful, and I pray for all the people involved, because we always lose some people in this kind of a situation. So God bless everybody as we get through this day and the days to follow. Once again, my friends, you know I love you. Take care. Hope the rest of your day is blessed, and I will see you very soon. Either way, either tonight or after. Bye-bye.